Well, I guess I can go ahead and open up the screen. I see the awesome people who are hanging out with us. Welcome. Let's see, I've been trying to get some, see if I can get this thing working again. Chat screen. We should see something. I was in here starting the work on some stuff. We got chat on screen. That's what I need. Chat on screen. Let's see if we can get this to work again. That is like not the current chat. How do I get it up to date? Oh, every time I think I got it. That's an old chat. We need a new chat. I'm going back and forth to like actual YouTube because that's working at least. Hey Shelly, I see you. Can everybody hear me? Let me get rid of this chat. Not the chat, but this chat screen till I figure out how this dang on thing works. Close you off. I should at least see. Why is this not up to date? What was that? Redock. Y'all, I'm just playing around with this these screens here. Nope, that's not doing what it's supposed to be doing at all. Let me try this again. So what's up with everybody while I'm fiddling around here in the background? No, are you gonna work for me? I guess I gotta go between two screens. No problem. I'm over here. I'm trying to figure out ways to like mess around with this computer. Usually I do everything on my laptop, and I am working out the kinks for adding a new monitor so I can work with live streams a little more actively. Because it's fun to read the comments, but I think it'll also be fun if I can actually have a few days where we just sit together, ask questions. If you all have any ideas for potential things that I can do in the video, I want to talk with you about that. But I gotta learn all this stuff. I see we got D is in here as well. Welcome, Van Miles is in here. How's everybody's body? Yeah, how is everybody feeling body-wise? I'm not that bad. Like I'm thinking that it's got to be these stretch videos that I use. They are definitely helping with the recovery process as far as the next day for me. That and taking a nice hot shower. That always helps for me. And I can see that you can hear me, so that's fantastic. Only thing I'm mad about, every time I think I got my little feature chat, it's like a little hater, and then it doesn't pop up on the screen. Refresh. Okay. We got auto. Everything should be popping up. I like doing a little chat where I can see your names. I'm just trying again. Throwing this little hello. Karen, I see you're here. This is so strange. I'm looking at myself. I got multiple monitors. One of them is on time. The other one is a slight delay. So now I'm just performing for myself. Let me stop being a weirdo. So how? Okay, so I got my cousins in here. Mo Kitchen's in here. Van Miles. I got D's in here. Karen. Welcome. This is a chill day. No working out. Thank goodness. That last day was crazy. I just feel like the way those numbers jumped up, I was not ready. The fur babies are probably like, you ain't been paying us no attention this past hour. They gonna have to deal with it. I think I've already talked to everybody about that. Actually, you know, before I go to this next topic, has anybody watched the latest video? Karen did 2.6 miles on a treadmill today. Okay, so you working. Do you walk on your treadmill or do you run? You a jogger? going walk. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's a good way to start. My friend Lindsay, that's what she's did in order to get herself fit. She said she started off with a little treadmill that she has in her house. It's like real small, kind of like a portable one, or it was in her house. I don't know what she's doing with it now that she has an RV, but I feel like she would have brought it with her. And she was saying walking was really what helped her get her body toned, helped her with losing weight, and then with that consistency, now she she used to do this all the time anyway, but she likes to do those like challenges and whatnot. I want to say she did like the Tough Mudder before. There was something here in the Tampa area that she did, but it all started off with her just committing to doing multiple hours, not multiple hours, but multiple miles of walking a day. I don't know if I'll ever be that person, but maybe one day. Maybe one day. I do not like cardio. It is not something that I care to do. It is a struggle. Let's see, Rhonda, I do see that you did watch the video of me at the state fair. Are you going to the Strawberry Festival? Strawberry Festival is coming up, right? It's like, I think it's in March. I do want to, because everybody, you know, I probably would have not thought much of it, because I've heard about it, and I was like, a festival for strawberries, that just sounds like, whatever. But of course, anytime I mention the Strawberry Festival, everybody's like, you gotta go. You gotta go. So, should I be imagining like a fair, but with a lot of strawberries? Do they have rides, or is it literally just going to be orchards and orchards of strawberries? Maybe venues selling items with strawberries in it. I don't know what to expect. But I know Lindsay wants to go. So, excuse me, I'm all oily and I got this light on me, making the shine even brighter. But yes, I do have it on the like things to do here in Florida. Haven't kept up on the info. Where's my phone? Oh, I'm using it as a camera to figure out the details. Actually, I can check right now. Let's see. Strawberry Festival, Florida. Because I feel like it's now for a while. Because I don't want to miss it. It's multiple days, right? Yeah, a few people watching. I see Vanma said you skipped the lunges yesterday. I totally understand. You see how I had to change mine up. Karen, my goal is to walk 3 miles a day and 1 hour on the treadmill. You got your goal. That's what's up. Walking is so good for the body. When I lived in San Francisco, I walked the bike trail because of the inclines. South Florida. I don't know why I read that as San Francisco, but South Florida, I walked the bike trails because of the incline. It's through this weekend. So the Strawberry Festival is now February 27th to March 9th. Dang. Oh, why did I think it was like a month-long thing? Today's the 6th. I don't have much time. Then I guess I got to start planning for this ASAP. You said, Rhonda said you're going now, as in like today? What are the hours? I got exhibits, calendar of events. Let me see. Okay. See if I can show y'all what I'm looking at. Okay, first I need to make you bigger. Okay, and then we go our full track screen. There we go. Okay, so Florida Strawberry Festival to the 9th. And they do have rides and attractions. Plant City, Florida. I don't really know where that is. These are the rides. I don't know about these rides though. Ooh. Livestock shows. I'm intrigued about the livestock shows. I want to see this stuff, but then I feel bad at the same time. Free entertainment. Okay, I don't know who that is, but thank you for, entertaining folks while we're trying to get our strawberries on. Info. Let me see what we got. RV campgrounds. What? Oh. Dang. Okay, so I guess I missed that. What else? Okay, so contest, directions, and parking, schedule of events, and map. Let's see what this is about. I can't do the Spanish version. Chat on screen. See if that gets you in there. Alright, so this is the events. Public showcase. Okay. It's not a lot of. Oh, never mind. Okay, I was about to say something, but no, I see some colors. See some varying colors here for entertainment. Plant City. So, okay. Much closer to the actual Tampa area. I gotta go ahead and see when Lindsay is available because I know she wants to do this. She's the one who told me Nelly's gonna be there. Nelly is performing at the strangest of things nowadays. Oh man, I miss Boyz II Men though. Now that makes me sad. Oh, this is what happens when you wait till the last minute to look at stuff. Had I known, I would have been there on Monday. I love me some good old fashioned Boyz II Men. Now, Nelly, can you switch? Like, can you just let them perform twice? So I'd rather see them. I saw them in Vegas a few times. Absolutely love every single performance that I watch with Boyz II Men. Darn, I done missed all the good shows. So I guess we're gonna ignore the shows since I'm not really excited about any of the other names. Maybe Nelly, but just barely is there excitement about that. Now that I missed who I really would have preferred to have seen, which is Boyz II Men. I can't see the chat anymore. Where's everybody at? Hello? Maybe I gotta... Learning new stuff is frustrating. Okay? It's good. It's a process that needs to occur. But it definitely is frustrating. I think having this extra monitor is really messing me up. Because I feel like... Where did I have my little YouTube with my comments and stuff? I know y'all can see that. Let me go back to this screen and then maybe if I fiddle around makes sense. No, it still ain't making sense. I can't see the chat anymore where everybody is talking back with me. Maybe I know it's Google Chrome. I don't know what happened. Let me just do this again. Bear with me, everyone. I'm just trying to get to the chat because I can't see the responses since it's not popping up on the dang on screen. Feature chat. Chat on wall should be working. I wish y'all could see the screen. Okay. YouTube Studio, where you at? We get there. Okay, I think we got, now I can actually see the chat again. So let me get back to a few things that I missed. Rhonda, I see, we talked about that. Van Miles skipped some lunges. That's early. Van Miles watched the video. Thank you. Ooh. All right, now I'm seeing stuff popping up. Okay, I don't know what we did, but okay, it's popping up now. Okay. Good. I get excited when stuff actually starts to work. What else we got? Something about wearing my t-shirt. So as the t-shirt for Karen, I see you like the background music. Fantastic. A lot of it's like the music that you hear playing in the back of my videos. There's just a few artists through Epidemic Sound that I just kind of stick with all the time, and I will replay it. Sometimes it's the song with the lyrics, and then sometimes it's just the audio. I'm sorry, it's a song with the lyrics and sometimes just an instrumental. I like to play around in it. There's certain artists that King Sis, if y'all are ever looking at the description, you're going to see King Sis all the time. A lot of her music fits perfectly with the vibe that I'm trying to give when I make my videos, or the message that I think is important for people to pick up without what I'm doing or what's happening in the video. Me and her, we're aligned right now. So I'm glad that you like the music. I don't have like a playlist where I can tell you what I have going. It's kind of just like a track of things, a track or a bunch of tracks that just are going to replay. And it's only like an hour's worth of music. So at some point, if we're on, you'll start hearing the music again. But this is like, I'm able to do this by using Epidemic Sound. That's where the music comes from. And then as far as being able to play it in the background of the live stream, that's the OBS that I'm trying to learn. So I'm glad you like it. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. Talking about Rhonda. Okay, Mo Kitchens. It's like Carnival basically. Cool. Rhonda's nice concerts between Tampa and Lakeland. So that's the area. Cebu made it. Thanks for. I'm happy you're here. Just so you know, it's not a workout day. We just hanging out today. We get to take our little 2 days to break, rest. Always stretch though. Always stretch. But we ain't got to worry about doing any jump jacks, any push-ups, any crunches. This is a rest day. Make sure you wear your t-shirt to these events, as in my Chronicles of I don't have to do the playlist. Stizzy Chronicles. I need to get a t-shirt. I have a t-shirt that just kind of says subscribe and the username, but the ones with the logos are all hoodies. However, what time is this event? Because if it's in the evening, it'd be hoodie time for me anyway. What time does everything pop off? Schedule events and maps. That's right. That's where we were. And I think I got distracted. What's the time frame of everything? I see the concerts are during the evening. But is that as early as you can arrive to this event? No, they got stuff starting as early as 10:30. This is definitely a full day event. I will probably try to go to avoid traffic. However, I haven't really figured out the Tampa traffic just yet. I try to just stay away from driving the car entirely, to be honest, because I think Tampa's one of those places where avoiding traffic is almost impossible, regardless of what time you leave. Karen also loves King Sis. Cebu's happy that we're not working out, I take it. Donnelly's here just hopping in, saying hi to the fam. We got King, my King brother Eugene is in here checking in as well. Thanks for checking in. This is just a chill day. Trying to mess around with some more of these features here on OBS, try to get a better understanding of how this stuff works. We were taking a look at the Strawberry Festival for anybody who's popping in. We have who's going today? Well, Rhonda said it's going on now, but I don't know. Rhonda, are you going for sure? Are you going? I know you missed. I see you missed. I see you missed Boys to Men. What day are you planning to go, Rhonda? If you haven't gone already. But we were looking at. I'll go ahead and try to show y'all the Strawberry Festival. I just want to know what it's like. I want to know what it's like. I don't have any videos. Like, give me an example of what goes down. But you know what? I'm just going to go. So I can get an idea of what it is. It's the only way to really get an idea is Strawberry Festival. So I guess we're going to have a Strawberry Festival video coming up soon. So I can go ahead and check that out. So this should be an interesting experience. CK's not here, so she won't be in the video. But I'll see if it's possible to work with Lindsay's schedule. I keep looking around, but my phone is right there. So I can't use my phone. I'm just going to have to wait. You might go Sunday, not sure. See, my butt, I gotta make sure I don't wait to the very last minute because I'll easily forget and then be mad. So today is, what's today? I think it's Thursday. So today's Thursday. Ooh, I definitely don't want to go on Friday. But I just feel like, I mean, it may be, obviously the crowd's going to be better, but that's not necessarily something that I want to go for, more of a crowd. I might just have to go on Saturday, just in case. But no, because Nelly doesn't perform till 7:30, and I'm going to be here at 6, so no. It's going to be one on the fly. It won't really matter. I'm not going to base it off the performances, but what are the events on, I can make this bigger. Let me get it. See, we got Kids Coloring Corner. Okay. We're going to skip that. But I got the 6th. What did I miss today? We had Florida Blue Senior Day. I know that don't fall under that category. No discount for me. Parts Ride-a-thon. Oh, O'Reilly Autos. Okay. Started at 10. Then we're just looking at some of senior citizens drawings. I guess I missed that. Strawberry Shortcut Eating Contest. Oh, now, darn. I wonder who won that. What else happened today? What else did I miss? I missed the Old Rich Boys. And then, look, kind of right now, Rekindling Grass. The Public Showcase and Mosaic Youth Stair Showmanship. So, a stair is a cow? A horse? I don't know. But I guess that would be interesting. Let's see what's going on Friday. Friday, we got the Beach Boys Strawberry Mashed Potato Pie Eating Contest. I have never heard of such a thing. Strawberry mashed potato pie. That is, I don't even know what to picture in my head. Then we got the Beef Breed Showmanship. That's going on. Pastor Pee Wee Collins, you're going to be there. Nice. Exciting for you. Okay, let me look at the events. I might have to come through just because, oh wait, but then, so if I go Friday, I can see what the strawberry mashed potato pie eating contest is about. I just want to try a strawberry mashed potato pie. So somebody going to have to give me a pie on the side. I don't need to be in the contest. And then Saturday, what are my options? If I go on Saturday, livestock judging contest, I would be so confused, but I would go because I think it's hilarious. But gates open at 10. We got the livestock. I don't care about, I'm sorry, it sounds messed up, but I don't care about the youth. Baby parade. Don't really care about that either. The Florida Strawberry Festival Queen and Court. No, obviously I should have won that. I don't even know what it is, but I know I should have won. Then we got Nelly performing. And then Sunday, which is my last and final option. Gates open. Okay. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I gotta find out what Lindsay got going on, man, because this is about to be crazy. Ooh, wait, they may have my cotton candy. Yo, if they got the cotton candy tea, because I will definitely get some more of that. I'm so mad I didn't get a lot. How does it feel having a friend close? So nowadays it is kind of cool being like, oh, I can just reach out to Lindsay and see if she wants to do something together. I do like that. I don't know how long that's going to be something that I can take advantage of, though. You know what? I guess this is going to be one of the things that kind of will be a benefit of hopping off and hopping into the live. So I will have to relocate fairly soon, but where I'm looking to relocate is still going to be Florida. It's just northern Florida, whereas now, of course, I'm close to Tampa. So me and Lindsay, I'm about an hour from Tampa. I always pick like an hour from the city. Lindsay was like, I want to be in the middle of everything. So it takes me about an hour to get to her. I'm gonna have to relocate, and now me and Lindsay are probably gonna be like 3 or 4 hours away from each other, which is still cool because we used to be, you know, when we first started our friendship in Las Vegas, it was probably like 45 minutes to an hour because I was on the strip near the Rio. And then Lindsay, you know, she's military, so she was on the base. She was near Nellis. So in North Las Vegas, I can't remember the exact amount, but it was probably like 30, 40, at least 40, I would say 45 minutes at least. I can't remember how much that drive was. And then, of course, I stayed in Las Vegas. She moved to Colorado. Boom, that's just forever as far as distance goes. So now our short little hour trip, well, it's a little bit more than an hour, is about to increase. I don't have an exact date yet, but I will be relocating from this spot. However, I will stay in Florida for a tad bit longer and then kind of see how things work. The only thing that I'm worried about, and I think I mentioned this before, is hurricane season. I am not trying to be here once June comes around. It's time to go. I don't trust Florida. I know a lot of people are like, it's usually not that bad. You know, I usually don't. A lot of people I've talked to are like, every hurricane, I don't even leave. Well, the hurricanes have not been easy on me. Obviously, the RV's fine, but I'm still suffering from PTSD from coming down here and losing Fatty in the process and the amount of money that took. So I'm not taking any chances. As soon as June hits, I think I want to be in the Northeast, or I do definitely want to go up north because usually north is not a place that I would go to because of the temperature once it gets cold. So anything north has to be during the summer, and I think that's what I want to take advantage of next. So it was cool having her near. It just won't last forever. So I'm going to have to deal with that distance again. But after doing the little trip with Candace going around Florida, I am not completely opposed to being a distance from someone, because then this gives me a reason to come visit, or for us to pick a city that is maybe halfway between both of us, but we get to explore. I had so much fun like going to the Everglades and going to Miami, and I would love to be like, Lindsay, you want to go ahead and pull your RV out, meet me out there, see if she's able to do so, and if so, boom, we get to go camping again, have our little mini caravan. I thought that was cool. Being in the city is, or being close to each other in the city is definitely preferred, but it takes away from some of the adventure. And then I do have another friend from Vegas who actually is the mutual friend I met through Lindsay. So me and Lindsay knew each other, and then Lindsay introduced me to another individual when we were all in Vegas, and I'm still friends with all of them. Traffic in Miami is horrible. Before I get distracted, so I have another Vegas friend that you haven't met just yet that'll be visiting. We'll see if she gets on camera. She may not want to be on camera, but she will be here, and it's someone that Lindsay knows, so I feel like we're gonna do something. All three of us get to hang out, and it'll be pretty cool. With Lindsay and CK, they probably had met in passing maybe at my house back in the day, but they're not necessarily mutual friends, whereas this other individual is a mutual friend. And looking at Rhonda, traffic in Miami is horrible. I was really worried about the Miami traffic the whole time I was in Miami, and it may be because I didn't do a lot of driving around, but overall when I was out there, I wasn't suffering through I wasn't suffering as much as I thought I would. So I lucked out where I wasn't in it at times where I just was dreading being out there. So it wasn't terrible. However, when we went to the beach, when we all drove to, well, not all of us, I didn't drive. When Lindsay drove to the beach, I was happy I was in the back seat. Because during that time, I was like, ooh, this beach should only be like 20-minute drive away from the campsite. But this looks like we're going to be in this for a while. So that was not fun. But yeah, I'm curious to know, because the way people describe Tampa traffic, is Tampa traffic and Miami traffic pretty much the same nowadays? I wouldn't know, because I don't like being in the city no more. I used to be city slicker. keep me in the city all day, every day. Now I'm like, I don't like driving in the traffic. I don't like being somewhere where there's too many people in my way. So I kind of stay away. I'm like, this hour away is my I like that. Like, if anything, like, be an hour away from Miami. Like, I'm close when I want to be in the midst of everything, but I ain't got to deal with all that stuff on a regular basis. And same with Tampa here. I am just curious for a person who's lived in Tampa and lived in Miami to know what they feel as far as whose traffic is worse. I was looking at Atlanta, being like an hour from Atlanta, but then I'm worried about the traffic. I hear that traffic is terrible, and people act like it's not just the metropolitan cities anymore. It's now branching out into the suburbs and the rural areas, because so many people are coming to some of these cities. If that's the case, oh brother, now they're in my way. Trying to see what else we got going on. I don't think I missed any questions. Should be all caught up. Does anybody have any things that, Rhonda's saying traffic is horrible all over the Tampa Bay area. My state, the shore came with Bam Miles. Where are you from? Chicago, right? You're Illinois. Yeah, Illinois. Okay, that's what I thought. I haven't even been to Illinois. I have a friend, my college roommate, she was from Chicago. That we got to go. There's something out there. There's some type of food event out there that's supposed to be really popular. That's one thing I was told I need to check out. Chicago's another place where I will only come. Not necessarily Chicago. Illinois is another place where I will only come during the summer. I'm not messing around with Illinois when, as soon as it hit 85 degrees, we got a problem. Once we get to like 70 and anything below, y'all not gonna see me at all. Okay, so you're about 45 minutes away from Chicago. See, I feel like that's just a smart way to do things nowadays. These big cities, when you smack dab in the middle, it's just, it's just hell. And then Mo Kitchens, you live near Atlanta. Traffic is horrible. And oh Lord, yeah, I hear Atlanta's terrible, man. And I have a few friends in Atlanta, or at least Georgia. And it's so funny how Atlanta just changes the whole vibe of all of Georgia. If you think Atlanta is Georgia, it'll mess your whole mind up when you visit other places in Georgia. You can't deal with the traffic of Chicago, then now we got a problem, because I want to visit Chicago. However, I don't want to have to drive in Chicago traffic. And with me being in the RV, I guess I'm gonna have to show up at like midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Get into my spot and not deal with the RV and ride share it up, or even the train. I know y'all got good publics. With the RV, it will be horrible. Okay, so now I don't know how I'm coming to Illinois, or I guess I can come to Illinois, but Chicago just might. We don't have to put that on the Taste of Chicago. That is the event. Yes, Taste of Chicago. I knew it was some type of food thing. So, okay. Now I got to figure out how we're going to make this Illinois thing work out. Obviously, just go not to Chicago. That's the plan. I won't go to Chicago in the RV, obviously. At some point, come on, Waka. Come on. I knew you was going to pop up here. The fur babies need to go on the walk, so they finna start getting on my nerves. And then I got to feed them. Okay. B-Rabbit, you gonna try to get up here too? I knew it. What you doing? What you doing? There you go. There you go. I knew it was gonna happen. What? Well, here's the fur babies. This is what happens when they want to eat, or they want to sit down in the bedroom instead of me being out here. They do need to go on the walk, so maybe this is the hurry up and walk us. Don't talk, though. You better not start barking, sir. Don't do it. We ain't even been. What time? I keep looking. What time is it? I told them that they was going to have to just give me an hour, and I know it has not been an hour. If I feed them, they probably leave me alone. 6:37. Let me at least feed them. Stand by. Let me feed the fur baby so they can leave me alone. Stand by, y'all. Hold on. I got this. Hold on. Wait. I gotta find it. I thought I had it. Wait a minute. That ain't it. I thought I had another one. I could have sworn I had one that said, like, be right back. I don't know where that is. Let me just walk away then. Stand by, y'all. We gotta feed the fur babies. Well, you actually gonna eat because you did not eat breakfast. Here you go, greedy man. One for you. One for you. Close this. We gotta turn off the TV. I don't remember know this. Screw it. Y'all getting put in there in a little bit, just so you know. Let's see, we got what I missed. Look up RV parking by McCormick Place. Lots of travelers park over there. McCormick is in Illinois. Based GA like Atlanta, it's like a different state altogether. That reminds me, so Atlanta being completely different than the rest of Georgia, because I was actually looking at a place in Georgia for the RV, and when I kept telling, no, it was a RV park that's kind of like on the border of Georgia and Alabama. And I was like, it won't be that bad. It's right near Georgia. And my friend was like, what Georgia are you picturing in your head? And I was like, Atlanta. My friend was like, look, girl, do not do this little RV park in Alabama unless you go there and try it out first. What you think Georgia is not what Georgia is. And that reminded me of when I was a little girl growing up in Philly and thinking that all of Pennsylvania was what Philly is like. And I had the opportunity to take a train ride from Philly to Pittsburgh, and that was such an eye-opening experience. So now when people were like, look, there's certain cities and then there's the state, and this is why it's so important to travel, to really get an experience these things firsthand. A lot of people who come to Nevada and the only thing that they visit is the Las Vegas Strip will never understand what Nevada is like as a whole. Same with Chicago. You visit Chicago, if you think all of Illinois is like that, you're missing out on a lot of opportunity to experience something different. Atlanta, I don't know how Atlanta managed to be so different than the rest of the state. And everybody coming down there from all over the place to just add a little more taste and flavor to it. I of course want to visit. I just don't want to have to deal with the traffic. And then of course, since I travel in the RV, I don't know how I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna just pull up to one of y'all houses. That's what I'm gonna do. You done told me you live a few minutes out of Atlanta? Okay. Park on your street. Look greedy, but you are done. You're done. You're not getting any more. It's getting dark. Gotta shut down the RV, do my usual, get the lights on, windows closed. So I feel like people be looking at me even though there's literally nobody outside. There we go. Now we in night vision mode. Nighttime mode. But yeah, so Strawberry Festival, I'm gonna go ahead and try to get that knocked out. I want to experience that and of course make a video for you. Another thing that I want to check out that I think is really popular in Tampa, but I may have missed it, is like the Pirates Festival. I hear that is a must that I have to check out. And I don't know what else goes on. but I know about the Pirates Festival, Strawberry Festival. At least the Strawberry Festival is coming up, so expect a video, hopefully. Let me not say expect a video, but one should be coming. And then also, it's going to be another relocation video. That'll be coming up soon. I don't want to give away too much of that because as of now, it's not definite. It's not set in stone, but it is, we're at like 75% likely that this is going to happen. And I'm really excited about what could come out of this move without giving up too much information. I'm horrible at keeping secrets because I want to say it so bad, but I also feel like I'm a jinx myself. I don't know if anybody else experiences that where they hold on to information until the very last minute just to make sure you don't lose those plans. What are your plans for the summer? So plans for the summer, great question. So as of now, what I want to do in the summer, I want to go to either like Maine or Massachusetts. I don't know why those particular, I know why those states, I think they're blue for one, but I do want to, for the summer, go to a blue state, to be very specific, up in the Northeast, either Northeast, or I am also looking at like the Northwest as well, because I have also considered the state of Washington, but I don't have anything set. I just have goals, not necessarily goals, but things that I am looking into, but I don't set anything in stone to probably much closer to that time comes. Because the next move that I take, the next, Vermont is beautiful. I hear Vermont is beautiful as well. That is something that I've been looking at, my little places to visit. But what I feel like the next move, the one that's coming up within this month, is probably gonna give me a general idea of what I'm gonna do in the summer. I know I don't want to be in Florida during hurricane season, but my next location is in Florida, but and it's a little further away from the water. No, not really, actually, now that I think about it. But depending on how much I like or hate this place, could have some influence on if I'm willing to stay in Florida for June. And of course, staying in Florida just a little bit longer will give me more time to hang out with Lindsay. But I am ready for a new region. And I'm thinking for the summer, the Northeast. And then for the winter of 2025, I'm looking at returning to the desert, but I want to do New Mexico. I think I want to do New Mexico, which I've been in New Mexico before. However, I'm not gonna tell you, Rhonda, because it's not set in stone yet. I gotta make sure, like, I gotta be like on my way to this location, and then I'm like, okay, I know it won't fall through, and then I'll be ready to tell you. But summertime, I am looking at basically the Northeast. Massachusetts or Maine are like the top of the list because I've been looking at places already, places I want to go, and then I love me some seafood. So I found a few places where it's like, you can go in the lake or whatever and get crabs yourself. I don't know what to do with that, but the idea of being that close to some crab legs sounds fantastic. Fantastic. If somebody could show me how to survive off of crab legs, we in trouble. The second I know how to get it myself, kill it, cook it, I can kind of figure out. But the killing part, because I don't want to just throw them in some boiling water. I want to be, humane, and I don't know if they like cut their head in half or something, then throw them in, but I need to learn that process. And I do feel like going to Maine, Massachusetts will be perfect for the summer. You have family in the Panhandle. Love that area. Okay, so Panhandle, let me see, because I always got to check to see what qualifies as the Panhandle, because I be naming places that they ain't nowhere near the dang on Panhandle. Computer door, what are you doing? Let me get yours turned on. Let's see. Where you at now? So, you have Panama City. Okay, boom. That's what I needed. Okay, cool. Oh, wait, you know, I don't know anybody. I know Panama City is one of the places that I want to check out while I'm in Florida because it's one of those places that you just hear all the time. I also want to check out like Tallahassee. I don't know why. I think because of T-Pain, to be honest. This is a weird reason to want to go there, but I think that's one reason why I want to look at that. Let me look at some pictures of Panama City. Panama City. Does this family that lives in Panama City, like, do they have RV spots? Because, you know, they say you never know until you ask. So I'm asking. Oh, just left the area. So I want to check that place out too. I just don't know, like, with the Panhandle, do they get hurricanes like that? Like, if I wanted to stay in Florida past June, if I go to Panhandle, no, I feel like that's not safe neither. It's just nothing safe here. Because even in Orlando, middle of the city, Central Florida, everybody was getting hit. Hurricanes, tornadoes. I said, how y'all gonna have both? Pick one. I didn't appreciate that at all. That's why I think I have PTSD. And as soon as June hits, y'all gonna see me in New England somewhere eating clam chowder. Oh, I love clam chowder, so that may actually, now I might have just set myself up. I may actually go to the Northeast for some clam chowder and some crabs. So I was told, or per the internet, it was like hurricane season starts in June and ends in like October, but then like August to October, I think it's like the more active. That's the phrasing I think they used. I believe that's the more active months for hurricane season. But when I saw June, I said, well, I will be out here May 28th. Outro. I'm not doing it. I'm scared. And it's too much money having to relocate. And until I actually have my car hooked up with a base plate, that's what I was doing today. I was looking at how to flat tow a car. Until I actually have my car set up with a base plate and then get a tow bar for the RV, as well as they said a cable system, and they also said I would need brake system and something with the lights. Until I can afford all of that, you know, having to pick up and go, it's so not easy. Those are the words I'm going to use. It's so not easy. Panhandle definitely gets hit. Yeah, because I'm like, they right there too. They right near some water as well. It's literally nowhere in Florida where you can go and not have that worry. I know a lot of times it's like, oh, we were just missed. They just missed us. I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like the way that sounded at all. Plus, I still just can't get over the fact that every time I go to a park in Florida, I learn that there's another animal that I need to be afraid of. Coming out here, I knew gators, I knew snakes, but then I got here and it was like, don't forget that there's bears, and then there's panthers, and then people like, you got to worry about toads that are poisonous, or frogs, and it's just too much. It's too much. I'm in Central Florida and we deal with them all. Oh, see. You deal with them often. I'm not messing with that. That's why I won't be here. So summertime, somewhere else for sure. And then what I'd like to do, because I've been looking into a lot of these programs where a lot of RVers will tell you about work camp, but I don't want to do necessarily work camp. However, I do want to take that concept and apply it to something else. The reason that the idea of work camp doesn't really sit well with me is because when I see them advertised as always, to me, a customer service job, I don't want to have to do any more customer service. That's what I've been doing my whole life, and it pretty much causes way too much stress. It really does. Now that I'm out of customer service and I feel my body just detoxing from dealing with it, I don't want to have to go back to it. And a lot of work camp positions is like, well, you have to work in the office. I mean, I got to deal with people, and some of these people are entitled, and I definitely can't deal with entitled people. It's going to stress me out. I don't want to do it. So I've been looking at actually working on farms and ranch. Now, I have already talked about this before, where I was like, how can I make this happen? And then a few people were like, well, look at the national forest, look at the state parks, and that is something that I really want to do moving forward, because to work in the park, but not like, I want to work in the park, but I don't want to work at like the store. I want to be in some of these sections because I've been looking at the like volunteer.org. It's some type of website that you can go to for a lot of these state parks and national forests and then these water districts. It's like so many different things. And some of the things, one of the things was like, I would be taking samples of some water. Like, I was like, you got me feeling like a scientist. This sounds like let's talk more about this. And then there's others where, you're there to help with the maintenance issues and make sure the park is clean and checking people in. My check-in process with the national park was kind of nice, so I was like, I wouldn't mind doing that, but to actually work in maybe the visitor center, that is too much. That's too much. I don't want to do that. Or helping out the park rangers, I'm like, I can do that in exchange for having a spot and not having to pay rent, because that will open up a lot, not necessarily opportunity, but just another way for me to reduce my monthly expenses would make this life so much more appealing. And it also will allow me to live more, where I don't think people really understand when you go from, let's say, having $2,000 worth of expenses a month to $1,000 worth of expenses a month, how that really changes your daily life. I didn't really think about it until I actually started living this life, where it's like, hey, okay, I can possibly do some more. I can the jobs that are like, well, it sounds really fun, but they don't pay enough. I'm not going to do it because they don't pay enough. Now I can start looking at jobs like, well, I'm not going to take that job even though they pay enough because of the stress level. I'm not going to subject myself to that because I don't have to. I can pay my bills with this other job where they don't pay much, but I absolutely enjoy going to work. I love going to work. So I am thinking, like, if I can get a situation where now I don't have to worry about rent, and then maybe in exchange I am working somewhere for 20-25 hours a day. Sometimes it balances out, sometimes it doesn't. It really just depends on what I'm doing. If I'm learning, for example, if I'm working on a farm and now I'm learning how to raise goats, that's totally worth the 25 hours a day. And in addition to that, having a free parking spot, or working somewhere where they're like, we're building a building off of solar, and I get all that hands-on experience, it's totally worth the 25 hours a day, and of course not having to pay rent. This is all up my alley. So I've been looking at a lot of those options, and that's where some of these locations that I talked about, that I spoke about, came to not necessarily existence, but that's how I found out about it. Once I started, instead of looking for a place where instead of being like, okay, I need a job, I need to make money to pay for my rent, to be like, okay, if I work and they take care of the rent and they feed me food and then I'm picking up a skill, I was like, okay, that kind of opened up some doors as far as some other things that I was considering that I may not have considered before. So I'm like, y'all might see me in some overalls, a little pitchfork or something, or whatever they be working with in the future, and then doing that, not having to pay rent. I'm down. These private properties, I love them, I really do, but they do have their moments, which is, one of the things that's going to be I think a video coming soon. Since I always talk about private spots, I think I got to go ahead and discuss some of the cons of being on the private property. Y'all can't see her, but she's just right here being herself. Okay. Just sit over there. Sit right there, please. All right here. That's fine too. That's fine too. Just as long as you get out of my way. Lay down. There we go. The pros and cons. Yeah, well, I guess one thing, okay, let's talk about that. So private property, what I really love with private property is, in comparison to RV parks, you tend to have more land to work with, in my opinion. The two places that I've been, my very first location was in Pahrump, and I literally had like over an acre of land essentially to myself, or pretty much to me and the dog. So that was pretty cool. Here we're on maybe like an acre and a half, 2 acres, I don't know, but there's also 2 other individual, not two, or two, yeah, we're going two other people who are like not on top of me, but near me. Still plenty of space. So we got 3 people who are renting spots. Then we also have a 4th that's here, but that individual's family. So the dynamic's a little bit different, and they are completely separate in their own little corner. Then the 3 that are renting, we are all together. With private land, the thing you have to take in consideration is a lot of time it's not 100% legal. And that's the problem that you can run into. A lot of these places, everybody has RVs, everybody has campers on the property, so it seems like it's legal, but then when you look at the actual county and the rules, you find out that it's not. Like, I know for a fact when I was in Pahrump that it wasn't 100% legal. My landlord let me know straight out the gate. She was very upfront about it, like, hey, as long as code control never comes or code enforcement never comes, we'll be fine. But do know that technically speaking, code enforcement can come through and say, hey, you're not supposed to have somebody living in the camper. Or it's like little rules where it's like a person can live in the camper, but they can only be there for, let's say, 2 weeks. Or maybe it's like 90 days. Like each county has different rules. So you have to kind of be prepared for the possibility that your landlord may get a knock one day and it's code enforcement saying this camper's not supposed to be there. And depending on what the rules are, what's going on, the landlord may say, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to leave. And depending on what your plans were, that may work out, or it may completely put you in a frenzy. Then I'd say some other cons. That to me is really like the only, having to pay rent is a con, okay? I'd rather it be free. But I would have to say the real biggest con is really finding a place that is legal. And I don't know how many of these private properties are legal. I don't know if any of them are. Some of them, how have you found? For me, Facebook has been my go-to for every place that I found so far. So the place in Pahrump I found, and it's a group that I go to where it's like private property or RV spots on private property. I want to say that's the name of the group. And then there's another one that's like small private property, spots and small RV parks. It's something where it's like you can find private property and you can also find small RV parks. And then by small, I want to say some of these places are like, we only have 10 spaces in our RV park. So that'll give you an idea of what they mean, how they're defining small. That's what I've been using to find these places. If it's on private property, just keep in mind, I don't think a lot of landlords are upfront about it. I want to say even Lindsay's situation, she's on private property, she's month to month, and she has also wondered, like, I don't know if this is legal. And I was like, I don't know either. You real smack dab in the middle of Tampa. And that same question has come up with where I am now. So that's a con. But outside of that, I love private property. I pick private property over RV park any day. My first RV park, I panicked the second I had to back into the spot because it was so tight. I did not like that. I did not like how tight it was. And then also when I was in an RV park, when I was in a park, that's when I realized like I didn't like keeping my windows open anymore. Right now, every morning I open up my windows, I let the light in, I let the sun in. The second I was in the RV park, it was just not the same. Between having RVs to the side of me, I also have to deal with the dogs. Anytime somebody's out and about, they're barking and they get they annoy me real quick. And then as far as Nick, what makes it legal? It really is per county. So each county has certain rules. You have to actually do the research. For example, there are some counties where I want to say Pahrump, for example, is like if you live in Pahrump was Nye County. So Nye County, Nevada, right? You look at the county rules and it said it will be like campers are only allowed on the property for 30 days. You can only have somebody living in the camper for 30 days. Outside of that, then you now need to do the paperwork, the administrative, everything for a RV park. Even if it's just like 1 or 2 people on your land, you need to officially be zoned as like an RV park, or you need to get permitted for RV park. It's hard to answer the question as if it's a universal, because each county is different. And then what could happen in the event that you pick private land that's illegal. If you plan to stay to the end of June, code enforcement may knock on the door in February and say you need to be gone by March. And then you got to figure out how to make that work. And then there's also, I feel like, what can cause some issues is whether or not the landlord was up and honest about their actual legal status or not. Because if they signed a lease, an actual lease where you have to leave, or where you're set until, you know, June, and then code enforcement comes in and says this camper has to go, now technically the landlord has broke the lease. What happens then? That's why I think a lot of these landlords and a lot of things that will kind of give you a hint as to how legal the spot is, if it's a month-to-month lease or how the lease is presented to you. Like, for example, with where I am now, everything was basically kind of more word of mouth than an actual lease. Like, there was a lease that was available for information per se, but neither parties received a lease that was signed by both parties. So let's say I got a copy of the lease, I looked at it and was like, all right, cool, I'm going to sign it just saying that I'm committing to October to March. Let's say something like that. And then I gave it to the landlord just so they knew that they could remove this particular spot off of HipCamp, because they did like nightly rentals through HipCamp. So once I signed, they were like, okay, so we'll just take it off until from October to March, right? But I never got a signed lease from the landlord. It was more or less just kind of a way for them to know that I was committed to staying, just so they would move forward with removing this as an option from camping sites. But I don't have an official lease, so, you know, that's something that I took mental note of. Same with Pahrump. Well, Pahrump was a little different, because with Pahrump, my landlord actually created a lease that we both signed. But in the lease, it also mentioned, like, in the event of, you know, it was like, you know, if I change, I can't remember how it was written, but it was just like, instead of you officially getting 30 days to leave in case of the incident, you only have like 14. Like, it was written into the lease, kind of protecting my landlord. So you gotta take notice of little things like that. But, you know, things have happened here where I was planning to leave June, but I gotta look at some options a little sooner, and then I'll give you the details. It'll be interesting. Always have a plan B. Yes, in this situation, always have a plan B if you're staying on private property, which a lot of people don't. I would say I had like a plan D. It wasn't necessarily a hardcore plan B, but I also had something on the back burner in case something went wrong. I knew where to immediately turn to for options. What helps, what allows me to really do that and kind of work a little more on the fly is the fact that my expenses are so low. Because my expenses are so low, if something was to pop up where it's like, hey, you're on private property, you gotta get up and go, I'm not gonna panic immediately. Whereas I have come across other individuals where even though they're living in an RV, they are still essentially living check to check. So the idea of moving is scary for them, because it's like, hey, I'm in this city doing a lot of work or gig work, or I have something set up which makes sure my income and my bills are taken care of. The fact that I now have to revert to plan B or leave this area, I got to think about more things than just where I'm going to park my RV. I got to think about areas where I can get gig work. A lot of people rely on gig work. At least the people that I've dealt with, a lot of people rely on gig work. And by gig work, I'm referring to Amazon delivery, Uber Eats, DoorDash, ship it or deliver it. There's some company similar to like Uber Eats and DoorDash, and or it's maybe closer to Instacart. I think it's a little closer to Instacart, where you're a personal shopper for people. So a lot of people that I've encountered, that's what they do for money. However, I'm realizing that a lot of us are excited about possibly signing on to these programs, but they're they're not paying like they used to. A lot of people are realizing like we're competing with individuals who have kind of found a way to cheat the system, where maybe they have like multiple accounts, multiple phones. So when they pick up an order, they got like 5 different things that they're dealing with, which increases the amount of money that they make. I just have my one phone, my one account, so I'm only picking up one thing, and I'm just not making as much money as I used to make. So there's a few things that complicate the whole being a gig worker, where maybe like 5 years ago it wasn't an issue, they were making more money. Now they're just like, I really got to put out now I got to pull out 40 hours a week in order to survive. For me, like I said, since my expenses are low, it makes life a lot easier for me. So long as I keep it low, I think I can I kind of can maneuver, and I don't always have to find the job that's paying the most. Whereas other people that I'm encountering, they always have to find the job that's paying the most, and I'm happy I don't have to do that. I have Jennifer asking, do you plan to stay RVing for a while? Do you ever see yourself owning land? I definitely see myself owning land. When I first started this, I assumed in my head, I was like, we're going to start off with the first year. If you like the first year, start planning to be in the situation for the next 5 years. So this is part of my 5-year plan. I am absolutely loving it. I think I love it more than when I had a home. I definitely enjoyed having a house. It was so great having a house. But because I had the house and I also had the fur babies, when it was time to visit family, it became complicated because I didn't really have a way to make sure that the fur babies were okay. I didn't have the funds to be like, okay, I'm gonna fly out to Philly to hang out with my mom, and I know I can just pay for a dog sitter, a pet sitter. That wasn't always something that I could afford. Now it's like, well, if I want to visit my mom, me and the fur babies are gonna show up. I love that. I absolutely love that. And the longer I'm in this RV, the more things I learn about. As far as, at first, when I first started thinking about the RV, in my mind, it was like, okay, you're going to live in an RV, but you're going to work from home 40 hours a day. So in my head, I was like, you're still going to have a regular job. What changes is you found a job where you get to work from home. Now that I'm actually in it, it's like, okay, I'm realizing that people aren't necessarily sticking with their 9 to 5 and living in these RVs. They're now abandoning the whole 9 to 5 entirely, essentially retiring themselves early from the corporate world in the 9 to 5, and then they're focusing on gig work. And by having their expenses low, these gig jobs is enough to maintain their lifestyle. So I went to that step. Now I'm like, okay, there's more than just gig work. There's opportunity for you to essentially do some type of work exchange where you're picking up a new skill, and it doesn't have to be your standard work camp situation with like an RV park where I'm working the desk 35 hours a day, and in exchange, one, they're either paying for my spot or they're actually just paying me or maybe deducting my spot, whatever it is. I'm realizing like, hey, I can do something that's feeding my soul. Essentially, it's feeding my soul. These 9 to 5s drain my soul. If I'm in a regular job, I feel like as a person, my creativity is just zapped out of me. When I get in the house, I immediately want to lay down. I don't want to do anything. It's just, for some reason, it's very draining to me. However, there's going to be opportunity for me where I'm working, but I'm feeling refreshed at the end of the day. Like I keep thinking about working on the farm, working on the ranch. Because I'm going into that situation knowing that I'm about to absorb so much new information, I get a thrill out of it. It's almost like natural coffee. So at the end of the workday, I'm still ready to create. I'm still excited to maybe, pick up a gig job outside of that. I may want to pick up you know, maybe in addition to doing content creating for YouTube and working on this farm part-time, now I'm also energized and inspired to take singing lessons. You know, it's just I'm learning that it doesn't drain me as much, which is why the more I talk to people in this world and the more I see what they're doing in order to pay their bills, the more I feel like this is going to be something that's not just a 1-year plan, 5-year plan. It could potentially be my life plan. You know, what I'm doing 77 years old. You know, I see those individuals like, I've been doing this for 20 years. Talking to them, I'm like, I'm about to be you. I can see it, I can feel it. I'm about to be you. It's fantastic. Like, this lifestyle change has been absolutely fantastic for me. And I do know that I am blessed where I have a situation that not everybody is in the same boat. What made life easy for me is I had purchased a house. Can't even remember, but you know, when I sold it, I had been in the house for 5 years. But you know, I had the opportunity to be like, okay, I purchased a house and then I sold that house, and then once I sold that house, I was able to become debt free. I was already on the path prior to actually selling the house to becoming debt free. I had knocked out my student loans. Student loans were paid off, and mind you, to get those student loans paid off, getting to where I am now took a while. So I will say, yes, I was blessed, but I need people to understand, like, I also worked my ass off to get in the position that I was in. It wasn't just a matter of selling my house. Prior to selling my house, even prior to purchasing my house, because I knew that my eyes was on this world, I was already focusing on ways to reduce my bills. So at some point, when I was still living in an apartment off the strip and working, I had at one point in my life 3 jobs. I had 1 full-time job and 2 part-time jobs. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible, by the way. It was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. But I did not want to purchase a house until I paid off my student loans. So that's a goal that I put on myself. I wasn't allowed to buy a house until I had paid off my student loans. Now, keep in mind, at the time when I was in this I'm about to buy a house stage, I also had originally started off with, I want to buy an RV. But my mind was set on buying a new RV, having to deal with a payment. So my vision, what I was planning was very expensive. It was a very expensive lifestyle. I'm happy that now I realize going and buying used and older is kind of making that whole being debt-free a lot easier. But back to what I was saying. So at some point, in order to get myself prepared for this moment right now, where I am right now, I had to do a lot of sacrificing. Like when I say I had 3 jobs at some point, I remember my summer was terrible. There would be times I would have the opportunity to hang out with my friends, and CK was one of the friends that used to deal with this. I would be knocked out. It's like, if I did agree to go anywhere, we at the restaurant and I am gone, and I would just wake up and be like, that was so fun, guys. The whole time I'm knocked out. But I had set a goal. I was like, I'm paying off my student loans. So that was the first thing that I paid off. Boom, paid off my student loans. Then I went ahead and moved forward with getting a house. So now I have a mortgage. Then the car that I had at the time was initially paid off. I had purchased in cash, wound up needing to get a newer car. So when it was time to get a new car, instead of going to a dealership and buying new, I went to Hertz. I bought a $10,000 car from Hertz, and luckily I had really good credit. I've always not wanted to use a credit card, so that has helped with my credit score. And I walked into I didn't walk into anything. Online. So online, I actually wound up getting essentially a personal loan in the amount of the $10,000 without putting any money down. But because I had such good credit, I paid everything off. They were like, all right, boom, here's the money. So then now I have a mortgage and then my first car note. Before the house was sold, now mind you, it's like 5 years later. So now I'm down to a mortgage and a car note. The car note got paid off. because I made sure to make, I know you have your monthly payments, but I would if I had it, it was going. You're getting the extra bit of money. So boom, now I'm just down to a mortgage. Once I decided to change my life, I took a big leap. I wound up quitting a job in 2022. June 2022 is the first time that I worked a 9-to-5, or the last time that I worked a 9-to-5. I had, before quitting, I actually got, once again, another personal loan because I knew my credit score was fantastic, and I've been paying bills off. They see me paying these bills off. So I was able to get yet another loan. This time I had, and I talk about this in like my very first video, I had a loan to redo my house, and I also had a loan to purchase an RV. But really, I was using that RV version of the loan to live off of. And then I was also actually working on my house. So I'd say about 95% of the work I did myself. And it was mainly not anything drastic. It was more or less to make the house look more appealing once it hit the market. I want to say the only people that I hired was painters for the outside of the house. Because I lived in Las Vegas. I was not about to paint a 3-bedroom house. It was like 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I wasn't painting that. So I hired somebody to do that. Outside of that, everything I did myself. Like I painted myself, and instead of buying like new paint, I was buying not new paint, but instead of going to like, trying to think, these big name paint stores, I was actually buying from painters. So when painters would have a job and they would have leftover paint, I would get that paint. And I would just get as many that was close to the same color as possible, mix it all together, and then that was the paint that I was putting on my house. Because I was taking in consideration, like, you're making this look pretty, but somebody's going to come in here. It's quite possible somebody's going to come in here not to live, so I did want to set it up so if somebody decided to come in the house to live in the house, it was enjoyable. But then if somebody wanted to come in and redo the house, boom, I took that into consideration as well. But it gave me, anyway, but that year that I spent essentially living off of loans helped me get my mind kind of prepared for the work that I need to do around the RV now, the DIY projects that I need to do around the RV now, which was interesting. I was in a manufactured home, and they use a lot of the same products in manufactured homes. And by manufactured home, I'm referring to a house that was built in a warehouse, and then they towed it to where I live, and it had been sitting there for like 20 some odd years. I don't even know if the house was that old, but anyway, so it had been sitting for 20 years, and a lot of like the plumbing is the same that I see in the RV. Just a lot of the parts they use are similar, basically plastic parts. So mentally, after that year, I was so excited to start working on this RV, because I was like, I did a lot of this stuff already, just getting the RV together. But by selling the house, still going on with the series, by selling the house, once I sold the house, that was when I became completely debt free. Obviously, mortgage is no longer an issue. The loans that I had taken out and were living off of for the year were no longer an issue. I now still have money that I'm living off of, which is why I'm able to take advantage of opportunities where I'm not getting paid. So, for example, I keep looking at these options where I can work on a ranch. I can work on a ranch or a farm. Since I don't necessarily have the background, I know it's possible, but I feel like it's a little difficult to try to get paid for the jobs that I'm wanting to take. So instead, I'm volunteering. I want to actually do maybe like a year where I volunteer and get experience, where I can build a resume. And by doing so, I don't have to pay rent. There is still money that I'm going to need to set aside for bills. It's not as much as it used to be, so I can maintain that off of the savings that I still have left. And then let's say after a year of doing that, now I have a really nice resume where I can actually request to be paid for these jobs, these tasks that I'm doing. And then now I'm putting money back into, I'm actually getting income. Income is essentially what I'm doing. So being debt free allows me to do that. For my RV friends who still have to pay their RV, they have to pay for that. They have to pay for their truck. They have maybe bills that maybe they still have student loans. They're like, I wish I could do that, but I can't. And everything they do is based off of, I need to get paid a certain amount of money in order for me to continue to live this life. And it takes away a lot of their options. And I look at them and I'm like, the energy that I'm getting from you, I believe is the same energy that I was giving off when I lived in the house. So I feel bad that like you've done the downsizing and yet you still are fighting to keep above your bills, and you're having to make life decisions based off of how much money you bring in each month, and it's affecting your energy. You know, I'm happy that right now I'm at a place where I can make decisions based off of 100% what I want to do. I want to do this, so I'm doing it. There is going to be a time where just because I want to do it, actually, you know, I don't even want to put that energy in your ear. I feel like right now, if I continue to do things to keep my expenses low, and I continue to put energy into this channel, that I can get this channel to a place where it's enough to pay the bills. And that only works if I keep the bills down. The second I'm like, my monthly expenses are $2,000 a month, now working on the farm, I don't see it happening. Now I got a park, live in an RV park with a low monthly rent, and I need to go to somebody's building where I'm actually working, and now I'm back in the corporate world. It's gonna suck, but I don't want to go that direction. I'm doing everything in my power not to do that, because once again, I do not want to feel drained like I did before. I am in a much happier place now, and I think a lot of people look at it like that's because you live in an RV, and really it's not because I live in an RV, it's because I'm debt free. The happiness comes from being debt free. I don't think when I was working towards this that I really realized how many doors it would open up by not having to base every decision I made off of how much money I'm bringing in a month. I knew it, but I didn't know it at the same time. It gives you so much. It's eye-opening. It's eye-opening, and I just hope more people can find their way to this. Everybody has a different path. I get that, but I hope at some point everybody can get to the point where they're just like, the only thing that I have to worry about, I have to pull in $700 a month to take care of everything that I need. That releases a lot of stress compared to being like, I need to bring in $3,000 to take care of everything I need. I need to bring in $700. Well, it changes the energy. It changes the energy all the way around. So, if anything, if you're working on anything, definitely put as much focus as you can on reducing your debt. It opens doors that you probably didn't think would open. At least that's what happened in my experience. I'm just trying not to hit the mic. That's what happened in my experience. So I hope that others can find this joy, find this freedom. It's great. Let's see what we got. Just want to tap in. Yes, debt free is everything. It truly is, Rhonda. Many more blessings to you that you're continuing to live your life exactly how you want to. Thank you, girl at the beach. That's what I'm hoping for. I am willing to do the work to keep myself in this position. And I know one of the things that I need to do is tap into this creativity. Really see where the world of YouTube can take me. I don't think a lot of people realize, like, becoming a content creator for me is the stepping stone to becoming a filmmaker. That's where I want to be. This is my way of learning a lot of these skills on my own, since at this point I don't want to pick up any more debt, such as going to film school. If I can learn how to do it on my own, get to the place where I'm maybe an independent filmmaker, I'd be a happy camper. I'd be a totally happy camper. And I've done, I've worked in filmmaking in the past. That's how I think I, started to fall in love with it, to the point where I was willing to make changes to in my life. In 2020 was the first time that I really got to work on film. 2020 was the first time I got to act. Well, first time I got to, the first time I was acting in like independent projects, movies, and things like that. And then 2020 was also the time where I got to sit and watch a movie, the post production. And that's when I fell in love with editing. As much as editing stresses me out, that's when I kind of was like, I could see myself as an editor. And it's crazy because now when I look at movies, I wait and I watch the credits and I look to see. It always amazes me that when they talk about the editor, it's usually like one person. So I could be the person just editing a Marvel movie. Like, the idea of that excites me. I also want to be more involved than just editing, but yeah, filmmaking. 2020 allowed me to get a taste of filmmaking, and it was enough where it inspired me to quit my job. I was like, no, I am going to create. I am meant to create. That is my purpose. Sitting here and babying this customer worked for me before. It's not working anymore. I need to move beyond that. So I'm going to do what's necessary. And I'm confident, because they say once you start putting that energy out there, I'm confident that it'll come back to me where we're going to have this conversation in like 5 years. And I'll be like, I thought it was a 5-year plan, but the debt level is still low. Making enough money with content, movies, independent projects where I still don't have to go back to a job. So now that 5-year plan is going to be a 10-year plan. Then the 10-year plan becomes a 15-year plan. Then the 20-year plan is this is what I'm doing. This is it. We're set in stone. I'm officially the aunt in the RV by the river. Can't wait for my nieces to be like, what's your aunt do? She makes YouTube videos and movies on Tubi, and she lives in the RV and she travels. That's what one of these days my little niece is gonna say. Somebody asks, what does your aunt do? What does your auntie do? That's the response that I expect. That is my future. So yes. You're very wise. I love that more people are starting to reassess what is really important to them. Absolutely. I think 2020 was a lot of people have, they think of 2020 and they're cringe, but for me 2020 was like, it was a breath of fresh air. It was a breath of fresh air. A lot of things that wind up happening gave me the opportunity to realize, like, I don't like doing this. I've been doing it because I had to do it, but I actually don't like it at all. And it's not necessarily like all of a sudden, like, oh, I realize I don't hate it. It's like 2020 for me is when I started being honest with myself and having conversations with myself. And the pandemic is the reason a lot of that happened. I had already realized, like, working at night works for me. So I used to work night shift, right? Then 2020 came and I realized not only do I like working out at night, but I also like working at home. I like being in my own space creating or producing. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, I probably wouldn't have reached the point in 2023 where I was able to say, you know what, I'm not staying in this position. I let my company know, like, I'm leaving you in order to pursue my dreams. A lot of that came about because of the pandemic. It was like every day I was learning a little more about myself. When you sitting in the house, you're isolated. I started to learn more and more about myself. I started to have honest conversations with myself. And then I got to the point where it was like, I have just enjoyed working from home, working at night, creating. I enjoyed all of that. And then when it was time to go back to the office, I was not willing to change. I was not willing to go back to what I was like, we're not backtracking. And that's literally kind of what happened. I probably would have stayed at that job that I was working. I was working nights. I was working from home. I was somewhat content. I was like, and since I'm working at nights, I'm working from home, I'm still producing content. Like I worked in the movie, I'm producing content, I'm having a great time. And then the company was like, you need to come into the office. I said, no, the frick, I will not. And I made the choice. I literally, they was like, you coming into the office, this is when you guys are expected to return. I put in my 2 weeks notice, and I have not returned to a 9 to 5 since. I mean, granted, I put in my 2 weeks notice. I took out a loan that I wound up going, I blew through that money, y'all. I wound up tapping to my 401k. My mama had to send me money. Don't act like this was a fairy tale. It was a struggle, but things wound up falling into place. It just didn't fall in place at the time in the timeline that I thought it was going to happen, but it did happen. It just took a little more time, and that's okay. I'm not a very patient person. Sometimes I have to learn patience, and this is one of those moments where I needed to learn it. But if it wasn't for 2020, I don't know if I would have had enough honest conversations with myself to feel confident enough to quit my job like I did, with the intentions of essentially retiring myself. Like, that was my mindset. I'm retiring myself from the corporate world. I'm retiring myself from 9 to 5. Moving forward, I am going to work. I may have a W-2, but it's not going to be a standard 9 to 5. We're doing some other stuff now, because I knew it was possible. I got to work from home. You know, at first I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think that was something that I would be able to do. In my mind, the only people who had opportunity to work from home or IT, like people who worked in IT. I wasn't in IT, so I was like, no, it's possible for you, Stiz. It's possible. You have to be a little more creative. You got to break the mold, do things that you usually don't do. You know, the things that are easy for you and they come easy, you're gonna have to break away from them and do something that you're gonna work a little bit harder for, but you'll be happier when you're in it. I just had to make that change mentally, and at this point, I'm not willing to go back. I don't want to. I can't. I've had too much freedom. Got a taste of it. I love it. We're gonna do everything we can to keep it moving. Let's see. Go for the goal, for that dream. That's what I'm doing. They can be living. It gave people time to pause and really think about what they wanted for their lives. That's the pandemic. Pandemic was a fabulous time. I in my mind, I feel for people who lost people during the pandemic. I do. I know some people see the pandemic and that's what comes to their mind when they think about it. I just think a lot of people, and I'm just using the term that I've heard before. You know, some people may use a different term, but I feel like a lot of people went through that spiritual awakening. And if you're not comfortable with the word spiritual awakening, a lot of people just they broke away from what they had been told to become, I guess. You know, a lot of people like, all my life I was told I need to be a doctor, and now I realize I don't like medicine. I want to be a singer. And so now I'm going to pursue that, and I'm going to put everything into it. I love that a lot of people started doing that. And even now, I love hearing CK. You know, like, she says certain things, and it's just things that it's when she says, I'm like, I feel the exact same way. I understand totally what you're going through. You know, sometimes she may say in a way like, I've been thinking about this. And I'm like, I've been thinking about it for the longest time too. Yes, do it. You should do it because I want to do it. And I feel like if you did it, it would really encourage me to do it. And if I do it, it'll encourage you to do it. Why should you do it? So it's so fun seeing a lot of my other friends experiencing the same thing that I am. You know, Lindsay, when she went from selling her house to becoming an RV owner. And CK, she does a lot of car camping. And when I told CK about a company that I'm looking at, where it's like you can be paired with somebody on a farm or ranch, and they'll mentor you, they'll train you, and you'll work, and they'll take care of your, you know, they'll provide you with lodging. She was like, oh, I'm looking at some of this stuff too. Here's a list here's the company I've been looking at. And then I'm sharing with her, here's the company that I've been looking at. And meanwhile, like, me and her have been looking at, you know, having the same dream, but we hadn't really talked about it. And come to find out, like, it's just so great just having somebody else who totally understands it. Because I think some of the stuff, some people will look at it and be like, that's so different, it's so weird. But to have a friend who's like, I'm actually considering the exact same thing, you know, just like working, they take care of my lodging, and now I can travel all throughout the West Coast, all throughout wherever. For me, I know I love my fur babies, I do. I would be considering international travel as well, but having them, there's extra steps that are involved in order to make it possible for them to travel. So I am happy with just sticking to the United States or North America. We'll say that with North America. But I know some of the stuff that I'm looking at, some of the things that I'm considering will also open the door for international travel. Now, I have traveled internationally before. The way I made it possible was when right out of college, I worked on a cruise ship. That's how I was able to travel internationally. So you just gotta everybody always think oh, I gotta save a whole bunch of money in order to go on this vacation. It's like, there's other ways to travel. And you're gonna experience something way different than what you were planning. It could be something you like or you not like. Something it's not for everybody. But back in the day, my way to travel for essentially free was to work on a cruise ship. Now my way to travel for a little less money, not necessarily essentially free, is these opportunities where I can work on a farm, and in exchange they provide me with lodging and some meals. I'm like, I don't need much. Okay, so Nick be living. My neighbor works from home. He never shovels the snow off his car in the early morning. That's a fantastic feeling right there. And the car probably often has gas in it. That's how my car is. It's just I drive it when I need to, grocery shopping. Fur babies need to get their nails clipped, anal glands expressed. Right now, that's one reason I do need to be doing that, taking them out for that. But outside of that, I don't use my car much. Working from home allows me to be I have a car for emergencies, but I don't have to deal with filling it up every week. I don't miss that. I remember every week I had to fill up gas. Now it's I don't know how often I put gas in that dang on tank. And we got more kitchens. I've been working from home for years, and I love it. It allows me to run my business. Working from home is so nice. I wish more companies would allow individuals do it. It frustrates me knowing that 2020 everybody was home. They were doing it, and companies adapted. They figured out ways to monitor their employees to make sure they were still being productive while at home. Meanwhile, people who are working from home are able to balance, childcare, businesses, their mental health. And then the second those companies were like, you need to come back, working from home is it's not possible. We literally just did it. What do you mean it's not possible? We just did it for 2 years straight. Why do you want me to come home? And I still to this day don't understand why a lot of these companies it's time to come back to the office, especially if we're hearing that productivity has increased and mental health has improved. Why am I coming back into your office? I don't understand. Go ahead and break the lease. I don't know what you need to do, but don't involve me. I'm gonna stay in this here RV. If you can't accommodate that, then take these 2 weeks. I'm outro. Somebody else will take me and love me while I work from home. Matter of fact, Mo, is your place of a is your employer hiring? Should do they have availability? Maybe some people may need that. Not necessarily that connect. You don't want to connect random people on the internet, but I'm just saying don't give them referrals because you don't want them to mess up your good name. But is your company, not your business, but your employer, are they looking for more work from home people? Because let us know who it is. Okay. So look, what we got. So Ronnie gets 2 days a week to work from home. 2 days a week, I will take it. Oh my gosh, I will take it. I understand you on that. That every day, 40 hours a week, that in the building, that's not necessary. Mo, in my experience, the virtual teams outperformed in office teams and the turnover wasn't as high. I stayed at the job I was at for a very long time because I was very happy with being from home. Once I got that pandemic job, I was in heaven. I honestly did not get annoyed with policies and the employer until I got that letter saying I needed to come into the office. Then all of a sudden, every policy was stupid. Everything that they introduced was dumb. Prior to that notice, I was like, this sounds great. I can understand why you would need us to do this. This is fantastic. It's like my body immediately rejected it. And it rejected anything that came from them. I was so turned off. Okay, so with your company, they're only hiring in office now, which is making me give them the side eye. A lot of companies did that. I don't understand. I don't understand. I would like to talk to the higher ups because it's almost as if the information that they give is misleading. One second you hear that virtual teams are productive, but then you hear them say, like, well, we need you in the office for morale. I don't know how me being in the office dealing with Susan face to face is going to change my morale. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I really don't. I think it's bullcrap, but it's motivation. It's motivation. It reminds me of what I do and what I don't want. It gives me the little kick I need when it's time to work harder. I just think about having to go to an office and working a 9 to 5, and you know what I do? I create a video and hope that y'all like it, and then I listen to your feedback and try to do even better the next time around. Anything to avoid going back into that office. Well, unfortunately, y'all Mo's not gonna be able to hook us up if anybody needed to work from home. Sorry. I'm glad that you always like my videos. I do. I'm just trying with my videos. There's a whole world of like video production that I haven't tapped into yet. Themes, ideas that I haven't tapped into yet. This is one of them, live streaming. So I am being brave. This channel, I don't want it to hit a point where, it's no longer growing and people are no longer coming to watch my videos. And I feel like the best way for me to do that is to continue to be hungry and continue to experiment with things that I do right now. Live streaming, like I think I've done a few live streams previously, but I am committing myself to doing it every day during my birthday month to build my confidence, and then also to give me a reason to learn something new within this, OBS. And when it comes to live streaming, I think it's a great way to have a conversation with people a lot quicker than going to the comments and then responding, and then you responding to the comments. I like this setup, this opportunity. And also, one thing that I think would be cool if anybody's interested is I can even do like Zoom sessions where now I can put a face to a lot of the comments that come in. And that comes with experimenting, experimenting with new video formats, experimenting with live streaming, experimenting with ways to, thank you, happy early birthday, thank you, to engage with the viewers. For a second, I was getting to the point where there was no chaos, so I wasn't experimenting. This March Madness, I threw this on myself because I was like, you need a little bit of chaos, a little wrench in there to get you moving again, get you thinking of different ideas, trying new things, and then I would get to have the opportunity to see how everybody responds in due time. Let's see what Mo has. I do see some early happy birthdays coming in. Thank you, everybody. And then I feel like people lost money on their commercial real estate, so they started pushing for companies to go back to the office, especially the higher ups who have commercial property. I believe that as well. I think that's exactly what was the case. A lot of people were like, we got these leases and we built a whole community of business properties that are empty. And yes, it all comes back down to the people with money wanted more money. They didn't care about the mental health and the productivity and of the workers at the bottom. I agree with you. I feel like a lot of us pretty much feel that's what was happening. Commercial real estate got a big hit, and somehow or another finagle these companies to say we're bringing our employees back. I've been wanting to ask him now, are they hiring and where do I apply? But I feel I don't know. I'm in a situation my job is in jeopardy. Let's see. I think I missed something. Nick B. Living. I've been wanting to ask him how. Who's him? Are they hiring? Where do I apply? But I feel I don't know. Okay. in the situation, my job isn't in jeopardy. I mean, everybody's job is in jeopardy. That's the best. Oh, your neighbor. Gotcha. This is the neighbor that works from home and never shovels. What if your neighbor in there selling feet pics? You never know. I mean, now I need you to ask the neighbor what's going on. What job they got. Because I'm always curious when people like, I work from home. Like, what do you do? Put it on your forehead, because everybody wants to know, how can I be in this position where I can work from home and know that job is always going to be a work from home position. Shoot, I'm almost tempted to learn tech, code, whatever IT does as a plan Z, just to know, okay, if I have to go back to the 9 to 5, at least I don't have to go in the office. Anything to avoid the office. I don't think people understand that for some of us, how draining code switching is after a long time, how draining it is to pretend like you really care about, like, small talk for some of us is really draining. Nobody wants to deal with that. Let's just, what's the project, what's the task, get it done, keep it moving, let's go. Rhonda, you can't do customer service. I don't want to do customer service anymore. That's pretty much all I've done. You know, my first job being working McDonald's to working concierge, front desk. You know, I did a lot of the customer service jobs when I was on the strip. And goodness gracious. You always got to smile, even when you want to not smile. And when you're in customer service, just hearing the phrase "the customer is always right" it's triggering, because there are times I'm like, I know it on the business sense to say the customer is always right really sounds cute, but now that every transition that you do, you have to do like a terms and conditions. I'm like, you gotta read those, because everything that you're asking of me right now, it sounds ridiculous. Like working on the strip, for example, we would have people who would come into one of the hotels and be like, it's raining out, I need you to refund. Like, I'm gonna stay in the hotel, but I can't do anything that I plan to do because of the rain. I need you to refund me. And then when I look at them, like, we don't have any control over the weather, and they respond with, well, the customer is always right, I need to get a refund. I can't do that life anymore. No way, Jose. Let's see what I missed. So, can't do customer service. I'm going to ask the next time I see him. Yes, please. We all want to know. That's most work from home jobs. Working customer service as far as work from home, because I feel like that's what Rhonda's going with. And then girl at the beach, I was always like, I'm doing the job, just give me the paycheck. Exactly. You know, if there's no complaints about what I'm producing, give me the paycheck. Let's keep it moving. There's no need to come to the office on top of what I'm already doing. LaShawn, hello and happy early birthday. Can't wait to travel in my RV when I retire, 2 years and counting down. Good job, LaShawn. Now, do you already have an RV? Are you taking advantage of this RV on weekends? I definitely hope that you are. Not to wish anything ill on anybody, but one thing that I hear a lot when it comes to making changes in your life, a lot of people always says, when I retire or in such and such years, I don't wish anything ill on anybody, but I want y'all to remember that that time is not promised. If you ever can just get away for a little bit to do some RVing, please do that. And I say that because seeing people from my high school, middle school, seeing their obituaries, seeing that it does something, or it did something for me, where I stopped wanting to wait or push things off to later, because that friend never got there later. That friend will never make it to retirement. So if you are in the situation where you're like, I'm going to start RVing in 5 years, just do me a favor from time to time, whenever you can afford it, but make sure you set some time aside, set some money aside in order to be able to afford it. Be like, okay, I know I plan on buying an RV in 5 years, but this year I'm going to rent an RV and then spend 2 days in that RV and just have a mini vacay. Give yourself that from time to time. Just give yourself that, and remember that that time is not guaranteed to you. So you gotta squeeze in some of those retirement activities, even though you're not retired yet. Just do yourself that. Make sure you do that for yourself. Mowing kitchens, yeah, I just don't want to be bothered with these mother. I feel you. It's hard enough dealing with them in Zoom, even though I'm being accused of being angry, and I'm literally just sitting there. Be alive while we are living. Girl on the beach, exactly. Be alive while we live. Mowing kitchens, yes. You know, that's why I think I am content creating. One reason why I'm going that route is because a lot of this I can do by myself. I want to be a filmmaker, but even if I'm a filmmaker, I still got to deal with other people. With content creating, a lot of this work can be just done by myself, and I don't have to deal with the stuff that you have to deal with. That was Big Rabbit. That noise scared me, but I think I don't know what that sound was, but it scared the hell out of me. But content creating, one reason I like it is because it's something that I can literally do by myself. I don't have to deal with other people, and you know, even working from home, you still gotta deal with the Zoom sessions. I'm sorry that people are like, you're angry even though you're just sitting there. You must have a, what's it called, a mean resting RBF. There we go. I had to actually say it in my head. You must have a mean RBF. And I ain't gonna tell you, well, you should smile. You just get a filter on your Zoom where it look like you smiling. Just put a filter on that bad boy and see if they feel like you still being mean. I've been planning for the last summer to go camping. She and the kids are with it. It's the timing of our schedules. Okay. Schedules. These stupid work schedules, man. They take the fun out of everything. Ugh. But I'm happy that, you know, looks like the kids are down, partner's down. Summertime will be here in no time. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. Can't hide your feelings, but dang, stop looking at me. You know, Mo, my face tells on me all the time. I totally understand that, and it's so stressful when you can't, you know, there's no like buffer. There's no time to edit it out. John just said something, your face immediately went to, he's a dumbass mother effer. And John see that. And now John got a problem with you. And it's just because you didn't have the time to like edit that out. See, that's one thing about content creating. You know, I get to edit stuff out sometimes. Because I be on the other end losing my mind sometimes. And I have to look at the film footage and say, you know, I don't think I should put this part in there. I done cursed this. And cursed out the plumbing. Like, why I'd be angry just doing a DIY project. But you know, that's one of the things about at least you're not in the office. You know, they can see your face. They got filters. There's some type of filter that you can put on that Zoom call that'll help you with that. The second they say you gotta bring your butt in the office, not only they gotta deal with your face, they gotta deal with your energy, your pheromones done changed, like all that. That's why I cannot go back to the office, y'all. I cannot. Oh my goodness. I'm having flashbacks just thinking about it. Thinking about some of the people that I absolutely enjoy. Now, luckily, you know, when you are in a work environment, there's some people that you just adore and they make going to work so much better. I have a few of those co-workers. CK started off as one. Well, CK started off as a boss that used to get on my nerves, but then she became a boss where I was excited to work with her, and then once we were no longer working together, then we became friends. And I have a few other people in my circle where we started off in the work environment. So I know that there's some employees, some co-workers that totally make the job fun, but that doesn't mean we need to be in the office with them all the time. Mo, you got a backup plan? How's the business doing? Just in case, you know, the work from home ain't doing it. How's the actual kitchens at home? Do you see that being something that you can rely on full time, maybe in the next 3 to 5 years? We shall see. We shall see. Curious to see. We're gonna wait for Mo, see if she responds. I'm curious now. Hopefully, 3 to 5 years, you can just rely on your business, not even have to deal with these Zoom calls anymore. I mean, technically, you probably will still have to deal with Zoom calls, but at least you'll be the boss, the one who's scheduling them, as opposed to just accepting the invite. Do we have any other questions? Because I am about to tend to the fur babies. I'm happy that we had a few people come in, stopping by. Totally. Mo, I was just asking. So, as far as your business, I was just curious. How's it doing? In 3 to 5 years, do you see yourself just focusing entirely on the business and leaving the work from home position? Van Miles is about to eat dinner. What you making for dinner though? I want to know what you making. I'm gonna make what I got. I think I got some type of pasta in there, so I think I might be having pasta tonight. B-Rabbit, he over there making a bunch of noise. My mic still working? Yeah, still got juice in it. Okay, he making a bunch of noise, so I know he ready for his walk. But anyway, Mo, my question was, 3 to 5 years, do you see doing well? I'm still trying, doing well. I'm truly still there for the benefits. Totally understand. I totally understand that. A lot. Ooh, fish baked sweet potato. All right, do you have fresh? I'm still. My brain just immediately went to that strawberry festival and the strawberry mashed strawberry mashed potato pie. I wonder how that would take with some baked fish. Well, I'm happy that Mo, that your the business is doing well. I understand staying with the company for the benefits. I have been looking at, private insurance, and every time I'm like, good Lord, that's not something I can do. But it would be something that I technically would be able to afford the second that I am, like I said, working on the farm. And in exchange for me working on the farm, I don't have to pay rent. Well, now that rent money that I'm used to paying can now, go towards medical insurance. It sucks though that, you gotta wait to open enrollment. So I just gotta be careful for the next couple months. Hope I don't get ran over by a damn horse or something, working on the farm. Sir, thank you. I did figure out a way that for some people, one of the programs that I'm looking at is WOOF, and it's WOOF USA, and they do it's 2 W's before the WOOF. When they have volunteers sign up for WOOF, and in exchange they work at like a farm or a ranch, whatever, or somebody who does like farmers markets type stuff, they recommend that they do a volunteer card, which is essentially travel insurance. And with that travel insurance, it includes some medical. So for people who are RVing and you're curious about medical insurance, that may be something to kind of look into. It's not exactly what you want. Like, it doesn't provide you with regular visits and the type of visits that are for, diagnosing things before it happens. But for emergencies, like if you wind up in the ER, I think now if you consider these travel insurance options, it'll help with like emergency visits and bringing the cost of that down. So that's something that I looked into after having that ER visit and having to pay thousands of dollars on myself. I was like, I gotta figure something out. So I think that may work. I don't really understand all the specifics. However, I am looking into it, and I just want to share with others, if you're thinking about joining this world, or you're already in this world and you just need some type of coverage, there may be like a travel insurance option that'll work for you. Let's see if anyone is looking for WordCamp. Illinois State Parks looking for a host. Okay, Van Miles, good to know. You're heading on out. You enjoy your dinner. I've been gathering my camping items for the first time for us. I think the kids will like it. I hope the kids love it. And Van Miles, Nick B, it's awesome. Raised my kids tent camping. They grown now, so I'm camping alone. Do the kids? Well, Van Miles, I know you gotta go. Let me not ask you any more questions. So I think that's cute. I was not, my mom's not a camper. She doesn't even want to be in the RV. We did do a few camp events, but she's more like a glamping type of lady. So now that I'm getting into the world of camping, I am needing a lot of lessons and mentorship for people who have been in this world a lot longer. Like starting a fire takes me forever. And I watched one of the landlords do it. It took him like half a second. He was like, well, I did a lot of survival training throughout the years, and also he's connected to the military. So I was like, yes, teach me what you know. So I can only imagine all the skills your kids have from you in their years tent camping. I know they got some skills that I'm like, look, I'm gonna need them to help me out from time to time. You're still here? Okay, you didn't leave just yet. Well, I do need to take the fur babies out, so let me go ahead and get them out of here. And then also I need to reach out to Lindsay to see if she wants to do the strawberry festival. Hopefully she hasn't gone without me, because we did talk about it. I didn't realize it was now, so I want to go ahead and get that figured out. Let's see, tomorrow I will be here again, 6 p.m. I will be here 6 p.m. tomorrow. What I want to try to figure out, and I did do a little test run, I'm just going to see how it worked out. We certainly can just sit here and talk, have some questions, but I do want to maybe kind of show, if I know some other people are interested in starting a channel and whatnot. I kind of want to maybe go through one of my videos with you all, show you my editing process and the systems that I use, just so you know what's available to you. Maybe look at some of my previous videos and open up a form, like a Q&A where if you had questions while you watch the video, have the opportunity to answer those questions for you. So if you have any suggestions on things that we can do during the lives when we're not working out, let me know. I am open to any and all feedback. I look forward to this time with you, hanging out with you, whether we're sweating and breathing our butts off or just chatting. Thank you all for your support. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for asking questions. Everything, I appreciate it all. I love it all. You inspire me. Know that you inspire me. I am getting inspiration from you. I'm getting inspiration from your stories, and I appreciate every second that you spend with me. So thank you, everyone. You have a good night. And once again, I appreciate you for stopping by. Thank you. So good night, Karen, LaShawn, Nick B. Living. Yep, you 3 boys and a girl. Oh, you got 1 girl, grandbaby. I just enjoy your videos. Thank you. Have a good night. Girl at the beach. Mo Kitchens, you have a good night. Van Miles, you have a good night. I hope I have everyone. And bye-bye, folks. I'm going to go ahead and hug the babies for you. Hug the fur babies and get them walking.